I'm Chris Ensing live in Gander, where this storm has no signs of slowing down. I'll tell you more coming up on Here and Now.
Crab quota cuts, DFO shrinks the fishery by 22%.
That's going to mean a very difficult year for people involved in the fishery.
The sister of a young man lost 16 years ago has a warning for these people on the ice pans.
People still don't respect the dangers of nature.
A controversial goal seals the victory for the Seabees as they take the Herder Memorial Trophy.
Sick of it yet? Well, it's not over. Much of the island is still in for snow. Some areas will be hit harder than others. I'm looking at you, Gander. Details coming up.
Well, the weather is doubling down on Central.
Yeah, with a snow day on Friday, another one today, and possibly one tomorrow. Ganderites are starting to wonder if spring will ever finally come. Here now's Chris Ensing joins us live from behind that wall of snow. So Chris, what exactly are you dealing with there?
On Friday, everybody was kind of happy. A snow day to start the weekend, that's awesome. But when you have a Monday snow day, people aren't really feeling it. And the RCMP are actually telling people now that there's whiteout conditions on the Trans-Canada Highway between Gander and Lewisport. And well, just look around. It's pretty bad out here. Blizzard conditions, whiteouts on side streets, and one person to hold accountable. Sir, can you tell me what type of weather we're dealing with here today? Ice cold silence. But here at the Gander Mall, a heartwarming scene. One man helping another, then another. The guy in the truck, he's only in town because he's flying south tomorrow. Out on the streets, people searching for a place to dump snow. Amounts so high, this woman is a little worried.
It feels scary. Yeah, you know, we're going to get 60 centimeters. We already had that.
These guys are splitting shoveling duties, dealing with a storm the likes they've never seen before.
Well, I had glasses on first. I had to take them off because they're getting full of snow, right? Full of water and that. I put my contacts in. It's crazy.
Cody, this looks pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's a lot of snow.
How long you been out today?
I just started about half hour ago.
Okay, how much do you think you got done so far?
Nothing by the looks of it.
Well, some shoveled, others sang. Here's Dave Thompson and his son Austin singing the 14-year-old's original song, I Really Hate Snow. Austin, you got something going for you, because I kind of hate this snow too now, but every storm brings a badge of honor. And with the forecast that we have for tonight, it means people in Gander have dealt with more snow falling since Thursday than those in Toronto have since the entire winter. Now back to the other center of the universe in St. John's. Hey Zach, I hear you guys had a bit of a storm out there too today.
Well, I don't know if you could really call it a storm given what you guys are dealing with, Chris, which is a shame because of course, here in St. John's, we really love to complain about what we did get. Just some very ugly weather today. Rain for the moment here in the city. I've spent about half the day holding onto my snow shovel and the other half holding my umbrella. And for the moment, I think you really need both. Now, people woke up to some very different weather this morning. Just check out these pictures taken just before 7 a.m. in and around St. John's. Very blustery snowfall this morning. We got about 15 fresh centimeters falling in, high winds, very hard for vehicles to move around. As a result, schools, most businesses and government offices were closed for the day. But by mid-morning, that snow had changed over to rain, and anyone who hadn't had a chance to clear their driveway by then suddenly had twice the work on their hands. All that snow has just been soaking up the rainwater. It's now got to be twice as heavy as it was when it fell originally, and especially if you have an area like this one where it's just been piled up by a snowplow. Well, you've got your work cut out for you this evening. The only saving grace is that many people have had a unexpected long weekend with which to deal with this. Now, the big question, what's next? Carolyn joins us with the answer, but Carolyn, I'm almost afraid to ask the question.
A lot of people are afraid to ask the question right now, and I hate to break it to you, Zach, but there is some more snow on the way. It's not quite over yet. More snow is coming for St. John's tonight and tomorrow, about 5 to 10 more centimeters, and high winds tomorrow as well. And there are lots of watches and warnings in place for much of the island. Let's have a look here. Right now, you can see lots of blizzard and blowing snow advisories and wind warnings there. And yep, and it's not over yet. And it looks like the folks in Gander, sorry, Chris Ensing, and the Northeast who will bear the brunt of this system. Environment Canada says 2 centimeters of snow is falling every hour in Gander, and that will continue until tomorrow night. And by the time it's over, 55 to 60 centimeters will be on the ground. Plus, there are the winds, of course. Gusts expected up to 90 kilometers per hour and maybe even 120 along the coast. So you'll want to hunker down and stay off the roads if you can. But there is some good news, though. We'll be getting a little bit of a break from all of this. Some milder weather is on the way, and we might even see a taste of sunshine. Wouldn't go astray right now, I'd say. I'll have more on that in the long-range forecast. Debbie?
Thanks very much, Carolyn. Well, it is another bad day for this province's fishing industry. The target this time, the long-time economic backbone of many coastal communities, snow crab. Here now's Terry Roberts reports.
The news keeps getting worse. DFO has now announced a 22% cut to the crab quota for this year, and many insiders are now fearing an outright crisis. In Area 3L, where the bulk of the fishery takes place, the cut is even higher. More than 1/4. This follows a massive 63% cut to the northern shrimp quota on Friday. These two fisheries accounted for about $500 million in landed value last season, but the shellfish resource is in big trouble. Plant closures are almost a certainty, and many fishing enterprises are at risk.
There's no doubt, employment is going to be impacted severely when it comes to shrimp, and the same thing with crab now. We had a main plant was down last year. That's returning to operation, and now a 20% cut on top of that. That's going to mean a very difficult year for people involved in the fishery.
This is not just a blow to harvesters and plant workers. The fishery is the economic driver for rural communities, and now that's under big threat. According to the provincial government, there were nearly 9,500 fish harvesters employed in the province last year, and nearly 8,000 in the processing sector. With so much less product coming ashore, these numbers are sure to plummet. The union is furious at the drastic nature of the cuts.
Well, we've asked the minister for a meeting immediately, because we need the federal minister, DFO in Ottawa, to understand how important this is. DFO has to work with harvesters, taking their expertise, and I think we'd have a much better managed fishery. In some cases, recently we've seen that hasn't happened, and I think that's going to be to the detriment of people in our province.
Simply put, the union says the poor condition of the resource is not the result of overfishing, but of environmental changes. It says the cuts are just too deep, and that there's also room for larger cod quotas as the once bountiful resource slowly rebuilds.
I think we have to tell it like it is. We got to acknowledge that we have serious challenges. We think DFO could have helped with the transition much more.
The one bright spot is price. Last year, harvesters like these received on average about $3 a pound. Well, the price for this year is not yet firmed up, but the union says it will be at least $4.10. That's great for these harvesters, but not so great for those who work in the fish plants. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
There is confirmation tonight that some companies are interested in buying the shuttered Wabush mines in Labrador West. The company overseeing the creditor protection proceedings says a number of proposals have been received. Interested parties had to pay a $750,000 deposit. 4 have expressed interest in the mine in the past. MFC Industrial, the leaseholder of the site and its mineral rights, is the only named company. The mine's assets have been locked while the company has been in credit protection proceedings.
Well, the Herder Memorial Final came to a rather controversial conclusion on Sunday evening. The Conception Bay Seabees Stars took home the trophy with a 4-3 win, but the final moments left a bitter taste in the mouth of the Clarenville Caribous. Here now's Garrett Berry has our story.
The final contentious moments in Sunday's winner-take-all game. Just minutes left in the third, CB's winger Kenny King throws the puck towards the side of the net and into the goal. The CBs celebrate, but the Caribous claim the puck snuck under the side of the pipes. This goal clinched the game and the herder for Conception Bay. Afterwards, clips like this were shared hundreds of times online. Caribous coach Rebecca Russell says it proves the goal should never have counted. Her team has filed a protest on the game. They want it played again. Hockey Newfoundland and Labrador has yet to comment. CB's president Mark Reynolds says it's a tough way for Clarenville to lose, but said in hockey, you live and die by the calls on the ice. He said he's proud of his team and he's celebrating their win. Garrett Barry, CBC News, Gander.
In 20 minutes, we're going to take an in-depth look at that goal and what the rule book says about this kind of controversy with sports writer Carl Lake.
It is enough to pull at anyone's heartstrings. Whales and dolphins forced close to shore, trapped in thick, heavy pack ice. High winds pushed ice into many coves and bays this weekend, leaving animals trapped. Here Now's Megan McCabe has more.
For almost 3 days, this humpback whale was trapped in ice in the shallow water of Cook's Cove near Old Perlican. Blown in with the wind Friday night, the whale didn't have a chance.
Sometimes like he'd be on top of the ice, like, and he'd be looking, like he'd be looking right at you, like, help me, sort of thing, right?
Riggs says a crowd of people spent the weekend checking on the whale from the shore, feeling helpless.
And here he was, jammed in the ice and crying and crying.
What was that crying like?
Oh, just like a baby crying, yeah.
DFO and the Whale Release and Strandings Group were there too, but there was no way to get the whale free. It died overnight Sunday.
Oh, I felt very sad this morning, very sad, yeah. But that's it, I guess Mother Nature took its course and we did what we could do, or we tried to do all we could do, and if you try, it's all you can do.
Marine animal rescuer Wayne Ledwell says it was too dangerous for anyone to get close to the whale, and an icebreaker wasn't an option, given its location. Nor could it be euthanized. Ledwell says a toxic amount of drugs would have to be injected into the whale's heart, which was impossible.
Pack ice is natural mortality we consider natural mortality for whales, which is the same as a killer whale killing a whale. That's natural mortality. So that's how serious pack ice is.
But over on Bell Island, volunteers saved 5 of these 500-pound dolphins stuck at Lance Cove Beach Sunday night, with brute strength, a pickup truck, and advice from Wayne Ledwell over the phone.
Well, I'm sure it's pretty stressed, but if they're healthy and they can manage to survive that in the water and it clears away, and I think they can go on because they're not like animals that have come ashore to die.
Although some of the dolphins didn't make it, Ledwell says the Bell Island crowd did a fine job. But before trying to do this yourself, please call the experts for help. Megan McCabe, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, it's about to get more expensive to travel through the St. John's Airport. The airport authority is increasing its improvement fee by $5. Starting July 1st, the cost to passengers will be $35. The airport needs the money to cover a $200 million expansion. Well, the dream of completing the Trail of the Caribou isn't as dead as we thought. It turns out the Turkish government has opened the door to the idea. Right now, there are no monuments allowed at Gallipoli, the site of the first battle for the Royal Newfoundland Regiment in the First World War. Newfoundlanders are among the dead buried here. Internal government documents obtained by CBC show that Turkey is considering a peace park here and would allow a statue if Turkey could place its own statue in this province. Right now, Gallipoli is the regiment's only First World War battle site not marked by one of these, a caribou statue. The provincial government has did set aside more than $500,000 to build a statue, but scrapped the funding 2 years ago when it looked like it wouldn't happen. But the head of the regiment's advisory committee says the Turkish ambassador to Canada has been a big help.
The issue of whether or not they would have this kind of park is still ongoing. It hasn't been approved nor rejected, and he's quite hopeful and has been very supportive of the regiment. In fact, he's been here on a number of occasions on July the 1st and at the mess dinner on June the 30th, and has been a really good friend of the regiment and of Newfoundland.
Brad Guzzu and his team have had a good start at the World Men's Curling Championships in Edmonton. They're the only undefeated team after last night's win over Sweden. It is the third match they've won. Right now, they're playing Scotland. At last check, they were up 2-0 in the second end. Tonight, they face the Americans.
It's something we haven't seen in years, a coastline choked with pack ice. Now there's worry that natural curiosity has people risking their lives. That's after the break.
Lifting her spirits. Later in the program, we'll take you to a hospital performance that was meant to put a smile on the face of a young woman struggling with the aftermath of a bad highway accident.
They're sprucing up Confederation Building and getting ready for Budget 2017. How are the Liberals going to spend your money? Join me, Anthony Germain, for Budget 2017. Our CBC News team will tell you everything that's important in Kathy Bennett's second budget. Also, Chartered Accountant Larry Short is going to join us with his analysis, and he'll take your questions live on Facebook. So tune in, 2 o'clock Island time, for a CBC special, Budget 2017.
Welcome back to Here and Now. We have heard plenty about ice hampering ships and wildlife around the province, and it seems we might have to get used to it for now. Here and Now's Ryan Cook has more.
Pack ice has been rolling into St. John's and surrounding areas, in some places as thick as 4 feet. It's nothing new for the area. We've seen the ice before in 1993, 2008, and 2014. How it differs this year, however, is with the pressure. Rebecca Acton-Bond is with the Canadian Coast Guard. She says it's been an arduous process for their icebreakers.
When an icebreaker is creating a track, under pressure, the track closes very quickly behind it. So it has to be a very close escort. And when the icebreaker is going forward, they need to be able to keep moving forward. So if there's anything that's stopping them, they could stop very quickly. And with a close escort, that does create a little bit more danger.
These icebreakers, 3 of them, they're capable of cutting past to places like the North Pole. However, there's currently one struggling to assist the MV Hazel McIsaac in Notre Dame Bay. While that one is still impeded by heavy ice, all other ferries on the island have returned to service. Offshore Husky Energy has the Sea Rose back in action after a close call with an iceberg last week. The Henry Goodrich is still in tow amidst heavy ice, however. Conditions are changing rapidly, but the ice is expected to remain until later this week. For Here and Now in St. John's, I'm Ryan Cook.
While still with ice conditions, the sister of a young man who died on the Northeast Avalon in 2001 has a warning for people. Nature is more powerful than you can ever be. 16 years ago, on March 8th, Jesse Elliott, Adam Wall, and A.J. Sullivan died after climbing on the ice that came ashore in Pooch Cove. Now, Sarah Elliott, Jesse's sister, is asking people to stay off the ice.
I really just wanted to remind them that my brother wasn't even on the ice. And that was important to me because there's people out there on the ice now. I guess the emotions that I felt were more, I was sad. And not because I was reminded of the tragedy that happened, but because I felt people still don't respect the dangers of nature. We were on a beautiful island, but with that comes many dangers, and we've had a lot of tragedies that could have been prevented. And I really just wanted to try to remind people and hope that maybe I could help prevent another situation where somebody is not coming home tonight.
Okay, it is time now to talk about the weather, and Carolyn is doing this duty for us tonight. Ryan is off, and
what a day for him to be off.
Yeah, the conditions seem to be bad, whether or not you're talking about the ice offshore or the conditions that we saw from Gander onshore.
Oh yeah, and Gander really is the bullseye for this blizzard. And I have some interesting numbers put out by Rodney Barney of Environment Canada not too long ago. He tweeted that there's a record-breaking snow depth now in Gander. It's at 197 centimeters. And growing. Now, the old record was from 2004, and that was 174. So there's lots more snow on the way.
So that's almost 2 meters. Like, that's taller than most people, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll tell you all about what's happening now. There is some more snow on the way. Let's have a look. And, oh, actually, no, wait. Before we do that, can we just talk about this photo? This photo was sent to us from Krista Harris, and the photo was taken by Tara Wilkins Blandford. So I just thought this was really cute, you know, 2 legs sticking up out of the snow and the sign, "I give up." I bet that's how a lot of people in Gander are feeling right about now. So let's look at some of our headlines. What's to come? Well, we have more snow for the entire island, but as I mentioned, it's the Gander and the northeastern areas that are going to be hit particularly hard. And some good news, though, we have a midweek break, a bit of sun and cloud, even some milder temperatures on the way for the island. So looking forward to that for sure. And then it's going to change to rain by the time the weekend comes. So who knows, we might get a real nice chunk taken out of all of that snow by the weekend. So this is the situation right now. You can see the precipitation over the Avalon Peninsula and the snow that is just swirling over the rest of the island, causing lots of trouble for lots of people. So it is the Gander, Bonavista North Bay of Exploits area that's going to be hit the most. They're expecting probably another, by the time it's all said and done, 55 to 60 centimeters of snow, and that's by tomorrow night. So Environment Canada is saying about 2 centimeters is coming down every hour. So that is a lot of snow. Slightly less amounts in around the area, and we also have some very high winds along the southern coast, gusting up to 120 kilometers per hour, and a blowing snow advisory as well on the northern peninsula. So this is how it's all going to play out overnight. You can see in the Avalon Peninsula, it's going to be changing to snow. We're going to get about 2 to 4 centimeters overnight, and this is the snow that it's going to be blasting over the rest of the island this evening. Into tomorrow, the snow is going to continue in the St. John's area, about 5 to 10 centimeters there, and it's still going to be hitting, you can see the Gander area in particular, and that is going to start to clear off then by early Wednesday. So this is a look at some of the temperatures tonight. Not too bad on the island temperature-wise, fairly mild, kind of around the freezing mark. Much colder in Labrador. Now, of course, Labrador has completely bypassed this whole system, so it's been quite nice up there. A few flurries, but cold temperatures, mostly clear there tonight, and some flurries. Tomorrow in St. John's is how it's going to look. We're going to start off the day at -1 with some snow, and the winds are going to pick up in the afternoon, gusts up to 60, and then grow as the day goes on up to 80 there. So that's the 5 to 10 centimeters that we will be getting there. And some milder temperatures will continue tomorrow, and the snow on the central parts and the eastern parts of the island, and lovely in Labrador tomorrow. Actually, lots of sunshine and temperatures above 0. Very, very nice. So I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the good news that we have coming for the island midweek, and I'll have that in the long range.
Senior hockey ended the season on a controversial note. This winning goal scored late in yesterday's Herder final is being called illegal by the team that lost. Reaction right after the break. Now to the hockey story that's lighting up social media and has everyone who follows senior hockey in this province fired up. A controversial goal decided the coveted Hurler Championship yesterday in Clarenville, with the Conception Bay Seabees defeating the Clarenville Caribous 4-3. Now here is what happened. Seabees player Kenny King put the puck into the net from the corner with about 4 minutes left in the third period. You can see on the replay that the puck slid under the net. Here we go from the other side. Well, joining me now to talk about all of this here in the studio, Carl Lake, a sports writer and the editor of the website, the sports page. Thank you so much, Carl, for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to see you in person. This is too bad. I mean, everybody said this was a great series, some fantastic hockey, including yesterday's game, but it didn't end very well. It ended in controversy. Now, I want to go back and have you walk us through what you see with that final goal.
Okay, when we take it back to the top, and I saw the goal yesterday, now look, it looks like he's passing, Kenny Keen's passing the puck out front. It seems to hit Churchill's skate and go in. Now, you've got to go in and go back to slow motion. Now you'll see the puck. He's trying to make a pass to this guy here.
Number
it hits
17.
No, number, I think it's 32.
Yeah. Oh,
and the
okay.
puck goes into the net, underneath the net.
Yes.
Which in itself is a story. Okay, now it goes in under the net and into it for the game-winning goal, and you win the hurler. But immediately, two players from Clarenville, and you look at Churchill, Jason Churchill will go over to the referee and another player and say it went under the net. Look right off the bat, you see this guy coming over. Now there will be a player come, look at his stick, going underneath the goal. Now there obviously had to be something wrong with the net for one thing. But he goes to the referee. Now, having officiated hockey, baseball, one thing you do is you act as a team, and there's one thing you want to do is get the call correct, get it right. So the referee, and now people say he hasn't or didn't do it, I wasn't there so I don't know, but he should have gone, if he didn't, to one of the linesmen or another referee or a goal judge. But there is no goal judge.
That's what I was going to ask you about, Carl. There always used to be goal judges that I recall, all the years that I've spent in the rinks. Nobody there, somebody who would have a bird's eye view.
Well, that's right, and the referee could go back to him and say, how did you see the puck? Well, I saw it go in under the net. Okay, it went in under the net. Okay, you go to the two coaches, you talk. The goal judge and myself feel it went under the net. Let's take the face-off outside and we'll continue the game from here. But no goal judge. That reflects, again, on Hockey Newfoundland. Why haven't you got a goal judge? Every league has a goal judge. NHL, American Hockey League, no goal judge.
Yeah. Do you think that's something they're talking about behind closed doors today?
Oh, I'd say they talked behind closed doors. Plus also, let's not forget yesterday that this game was streamed on the internet. So the referee-in-chief, I understand, for Hockey Newfoundland was in the arena. Okay. Why didn't he come down and say, okay, to the two coaches, I tell you what, if you're agreeable, coach with the Seabees, you with Clarenville, if you're agreeable, because it's not in the Constitution, he has to do it, how about we go up and check the video up above for the guys that are streaming it and see what that says. And if we're in agreement that it is or isn't a goal, you'll have to live by it.
Okay.
It wasn't done.
It wasn't done. So the ref ruled this is a goal.
Yeah.
It's the final game of a championship. It's so close. But the ref said it's a goal. So what can be done now?
Nothing can be done. The only thing that could be done in any case in a sport is a misinterpretation of a rule. There's no misinterpretation of a rule here. The referee has ruled it's a goal. Now, had that been offside and was scored, would there be a complaint then to saying, well, we got to go back and do it because it's offside? No, and again, it's human error. The referee is human. He can only call what he sees. And I mean, the guy called what he saw on this play. Now, when you look at it again, you see the boys pointing under the net. Who knew this net was faulty? That's a question that arose after I looked at it. I said, now, how did the puck manage to get under the side of the net? None of us will ever know unless the net was a fault with the net or a fault with the ice.
So, Carl, just in conclusion, some people are saying this trophy, this championship now should be split, or the goal, the last period should be played again. Do you think any of that is going to happen?
No, it's all over. The Conception Bay CB Stars have won the Hurler Memorial Trophy. It's a referee's decision. The ruling is made. The goal is in. It's all over. That's it. Now, lots to be learned from this. I mean, you learn from mistakes. And Hockey Newfoundland and Labrador can go back now and say, okay, let's put a motion or something in our constitution that says we'll buy equipment, because it's the hurler. I'm not talking your beer league. This is the hurler. Let's get the camera equipment, the video equipment, tape every game, and let's have people set up like the NHL does to look over a play if in fact a controversy comes up. That's one way and the only way they're going to get around this, and they're going to have to do it because, quote, it's the hurler.
Bottom line, nobody wants to see this
No,
happen
never again. Never in hockey. You don't want an official, and I know because I'm there, you don't want an official deciding a game for you.
Thanks very much for your perspective,
You're quite
Carl.
welcome. No problem.
Well, moose meet fence. When we come back, we'll tell you what happened when the snow got just too much for this big animal. Welcome back to Here and Now. On Friday, Caitlin Osman took home the silver medal at the World Figure Skating Championships in Finland. And if you were watching Here and Now, you'll remember that Debbie spoke to her mom and dad just after that incredible skate as they were leaving the arena in Helsinki. Well, tonight we want to hear from Caitlin herself. She sat down for a feature interview with Scott Russell from CBC Sports.
It's been a fantastic season for you. You've come back after a couple of years of doubt and been able to stand on the World Championship podium. What's that meant to you in a critical season, which leads to the Olympic Games?
It honestly just means so much. I'm so happy that this season has gone the way it has, and to get a silver medal, I'm beyond excited. And it's given me so much motivation and so much excitement to train for the upcoming year, and I can't wait.
When you had the injuries and when you didn't have the Canadian Championship and everything seemed to be going wrong, did that get you down, and did you ever, lose faith at some point in time that it was going to come back?
When I originally hurt my leg, I was sitting in the hospital, and I said right then and there that I was never stepping on the ice again. I was done with the injuries. I was done with fighting, and I thought my career was over then. So the fact that I've been able to even step on the ice, I struggled. I had a hard time getting back into skating. I had a hard time getting myself motivated every day, but Ravi was amazing with that. And last year, competing, having struggled with the competition season, there was a lot of doubt that I'd ever be able to compete at my best ever again, and a lot of that doubt crept into me. I don't know exactly what happened in the off-season leading into this year, but it's like I re-woke up.
Is there someone that helped you with that reawakening that kind of said to you, I've got faith?
So many people combined. Ravi was always there pushing me every single day, and he almost knew when I needed to be pushed a little harder than I thought. And just my entire coaching staff that I have, my friends and family have been incredible. And I've also started working with sports psychologists, which has probably been one of the best things for me this year.
You have an Olympic silver medal as part of the team event. I like that you smile when you say that. Do the Olympics mean a lot to you? Is that the big thing for any athlete?
For me, growing up, I never watched the Olympics ever until maybe 2010. I think I watched a couple things here or there, but it's not something that my family was focused around in my early stages of life. I wanted to skate for fun, and I loved competing and I loved being in front of a crowd, so that's why I kept doing it. When I made the Olympic team in 2014, I was shocked beyond belief because I never thought it was a thing, let alone being there. And to be able to stand on an Olympic podium was equally amazing. It's been almost 4 years and I still don't believe it's been happening.
Going forward then, now that you have this experience, the experience of skating so well on the biggest international stage at the World Championships and succeeding, what does that give you going forward to the next Olympics, which are, hey, all of a sudden 10 months away?
Yeah, I can't believe they're already so close. And this time the experience is very, very different. I want to make it there again. I want to compete again. I want to enjoy the Olympic experience again. And having that behind me, knowing what I want to feel when I get there, is going to help me stay motivated for this entire off season and making me train. It's actually been guiding me so much this year, knowing that I wanted to be at my best the year before the Olympics and be even better the year of the Olympics. So it's always been in the back of my mind in the past couple of years.
Have you ever been better as an athlete than you are right now, Caitlin?
Definitely not. Whether I've skated better in my life or whether my jumps or I've been more consistent in the past, I'm not sure, but I feel better and I feel rejuvenated.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's great to hear from Caitlin, see that smile again. Well, between whales and dolphins and polar bears, there's certainly no shortage of proof there's a thriving wildlife population in this province. Brandon Collins snapped these photos on the weekend of a polar bear on the Bonavista Peninsula. He spotted the bear heading towards Birchie Cove around 6:15 on Sunday. And you gotta look at this. These prints, well, I know we have them, but anyway, they were spotted in Newman's Cove. Wildlife officers have been called. They say they are keeping a close check on the area.
Well, all we can say here is, ouch. Need to add moose to the list of animals making some interesting videos over the weekend. This is Justin Broder's backyard in St. John's, and on the weekend a couple of big moose were trying to maneuver through a fenced-in area. One of them fell as it tried to get around the fence the hard way. But don't worry, we're told the animal got right back up, gave itself a good shake, and then moved on to the next yard, no doubt.
They've got to be hardy to live here anyway.
Well, and certainly lots of animals and lots of weather to be talking about, and Carolyn's back to fill us in on the long-range forecast. You've promised us better weather, Carolyn.
There is some better weather coming, I promise. Well, it's going to turn much nicer midweek. We're hopefully going to see a little bit of sunshine and some milder temperatures. So let's just have a look here now. We're going to start with some current temperatures across Canada at the moment, and you can see some lovely spring-like temperatures in other areas of the country. Fort Mac is at 10 degrees right now. Toronto also at 10 degrees. So looking a little bit closer to home. in much of Atlantic Canada, it's also much warmer as well, and hopefully some of that warm air is going to come our way as the days move on. In our province, hovering around the freezing mark there. This is what's been causing all the trouble over the past few days. We have lots and lots of snow in the Gander area, as I mentioned earlier. By the time it's all said and done, probably 55 to 60 centimeters of snow will have fallen. We have really high winds along the southern coast, gusts up to 120 kilometers an hour, and a blowing snow advisory on the northern peninsula, on the western part of the northern peninsula. So we have lots of precipitation in the St. John's area this afternoon. It was a pretty drizzly day. All of that is going to change. It's going to change back to snow, and you can see this band of snow that's going across the rest of the island in Labrador really has been spared from this particular system. So as the evening continues on, you can see the snow moving back in on the Avalon Peninsula, and it persists here in the northeastern part of the island right through until Tuesday night, and that's when it starts to move off. But just looking at how things are shaping up for tomorrow, you can see Labrador is just gorgeous. It's going to be lots of sunshine and temperatures above zero in Lab City and Happy Valley Goose Bay. And on the island, some milder temperatures on the west coast as well, 5 degrees in Corner Brook, but there are some chances of flurries throughout the day there. And of course, we have the snow in the east here. So looking further ahead again, this is Tuesday night. You can see that the snow is going to start to move off, and this is where we get a nice little reprieve from all of this. This is Wednesday night. You can see nice clear skies over the entire island. Some snow moving in Lab City there, but the island's just going to be great. Temperatures around 4 degrees for most of the island, 1 on St. John's and east with some sunshine there, and chance of flurries, of course, in Lab West, but still 2 degrees. So it's still fairly mild there temperature-wise. So Wednesday, things will kind of persist in that vein of some sun and cloud until Thursday morning, and that's when Labrador is going to start to see some patches of snow, and the island is going to remain fairly nice on Thursday as well, with temperatures bumping up to 6 degrees in central Newfoundland, 5 in the western part of the island, and also nice and warm in Labrador. Looking ahead to the weekend, Friday is going to be lovely, but Friday night the showers are going to start to move in, so we're going to have a very wet Saturday, it's looking like now, but you can see the temperatures actually hitting double digits in central part of the island, and not so bad in Labrador as well. You're still staying above zero on the weekend with a mix of sun and cloud and a mixture of some snow and some rain there to start the work week in Happy Valley Goose Bay in eastern Labrador. So coming up a little bit later, we will have our viewer picture of the day.
Time now to meet our young athlete of the day. This is 11-year-old Jesse Fowler. Jesse plays forward for the St. John's Caps and basketball with his grade 5 basketball team, the Ron Colley Rockets.
Yeah, he also participates in martial arts, as you can see from the photo there, and has just received his blue belt with Downey's Taekwondo.
Yes, Jesse is looking forward to the summer, as are most of us, so he can get back to playing another favorite sport, baseball. Way to go, Jesse. You are our young athlete of the day.
Protecting the mosque. After the break, we'll tell you about a 12-year-old Muslim boy and his friends who help keep the Muslim community in St. John's safe. Welcome back once again. A 12-year-old Muslim boy from St. John's has made an appeal to the Prime Minister of Canada. Abdallah Shawan recently sent a handwritten letter to Justin Trudeau inviting him to come to the mosque here in St. John's. A lofty idea with a lofty goal. Friday prayers at the mosque in St. John's. Hundreds gather for this expression of faith and duty, including Abdallah Shawan. But Abdallah has another duty these days, too. Abdallah is involved in security at the mosque. He and his friends are helping their Muslim community stay safe. A feeling of safety that's been shattered since 6 people were shot and killed at a Quebec mosque in January. The issue of safety is something the wider community of St. John's expressed a week later, forming a symbolic human shield around the mosque, which never locked its doors until now.
The door is locked 24/7, so I wait and see the people that come. I have to recognize their face, and then if I do recognize them, I open the door. But if I don't, I have to not open the door, see an adult. If an adult's praying, I should call the authorities.
Abdallah is only 12 years old, but his role here at the mosque is something he takes very seriously. And as I learned recently, this grade 7 student takes the power of political symbolism very seriously as well. Well, first of all, Abdallah, how did the terrorist attack in Quebec affect you?
It affected me in a lot of ways. It affected me in one way is that I feel scared coming to the mosque, and I just feel scared just to not know a person that comes to the mosque. I don't know what they would be doing, and then when I see them, I'd feel scared if I see someone.
It's been a number of weeks now, so has any of that fear, feeling unsafe, diminished, or is it still with you very strongly now?
It's diminished a lot, but there's still that tiny bit of fear.
Now, you have written to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. What is the purpose of the letter that you've sent?
The purpose of the letter is because that I would like him to visit the mosque here, because then it would make all the community, all the children, everyone here feel like safe again coming to the mosque.
Can you read an excerpt from the letter where you tell the Prime Minister, you tell Justin Trudeau just how upset you have been by this Quebec attack?
Since the very tragic and horrifying incident of the Quebec mosque, all my Muslim friends and children who come to the mosque are feeling very unsafe. We feel scared all the time and cannot enjoy coming to the mosque as we used to before.
You also wrote to him, I understand, because you were impressed by the way he handled things after the attack. How so?
I was very impressed because of all the words and all the things he was saying about how Islam and stuff, that you shouldn't be afraid, they're just religions, and I was very happy that he was diverse with everything and what he was doing to make Canada one of the safest places for multicultural and multi-ethnic people.
So he impressed you?
He impressed me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think, well, you have said his presence here would, I guess, be comforting. Is that the way I should see it?
Yeah, comforting.
Mm-hmm. Now, he's a pretty busy guy.
Yeah.
What do you think the chances are that he might take you up on this invitation?
Maybe 50-50, maybe, you don't know.
That's
I have
pretty
a
good.
very high expectation.
And why do you have that high expectation?
Because I know he's a very nice guy. As I said, he tweeted me a couple of months ago, so he knows me already, so I feel that he's a very nice guy.
Well, tell me about that. This isn't the first time that he has been aware of your presence. What happened?
So a couple of months ago, me and my friend, we were at the Jackburn Arena for the Eid prayers, the very big Eid prayer. After it, there was a traffic jam from the hill, so the CBC Cecil Hare, he was there. So me and my friend we went outside, we talked to him, we said, can you take a picture of us? And then when he took the picture, I was joking around with him saying send it to Trudeau and stuff, so he did. Then a couple of hours later, when we came again to do the party, the small party, I hear everyone saying, oh yeah, you got tweeted by Justin Trudeau. I'm like, oh really?
So how'd that feel?
It made me feel very happy and excited.
So what would be the best thing that you could imagine coming out of this?
The best thing is that he comes here, he makes everyone feel relaxed, safe, strong again, and make all the kids, inspire all the kids, and just make it peaceful again for all of us and not be afraid.
Well, Abdallah, I hope you get your wish, and thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you very much.
What a well-spoken young man.
Absolutely, he's very focused. Anyway, it was a pleasure meeting Abdallah. Thanks to him very much.
Well, on to another story. Performers banded together on Saturday night to raise money for Morgan Party.
She's the 21-year-old woman left paralyzed after a vehicle rollover on Pitts Memorial Drive last month.
Well, musicians Maddie Rose and Chris Ryan visited Party in hospital on Saturday to perform a special show for her before the fundraiser.
And on Saturday night, nearly a dozen performers raised more than $1,000 for her and her family. A GoFundMe account to raise money for a wheelchair and home renovations has raised $25,000 so far. Back to the topic of weather now. We thought this would be an appropriate tune to play for you before we leave you tonight.
Yeah, here are 14-year-old Austin Thompson and his dad with their musical ode to, I guess, spring in central Newfoundland, where it just doesn't seem to stop snowing.
Been hanging on way too 0.77 rounded to the nearest decimal point centimeters of snow.
That's a lot of snow.
Yes, it is.
And a sense of humor, too. That is just great. They should totally record that song. It's excellent. We just have time now for a quick look at our viewer picture of the day. And here it is. Ian Hutchings.
See you tomorrow.